Hello friends, and welcome to the Grave Detective channel. Today I'm standing at the MUSSCHOOT cemetery, located in the border town of Putten, in the Netherlands, 20 kilometers north of the city of Antwerp. The grave we are visiting today is the grave of Jacob Birnbaum.
Jacob Birnbaum was born on the 24th of May 1887 in Krakow, then in Austria. He was the son of the diamond merchant Joachim or Joachim Birnbaum and his wife Chaya Taube Theophilia Zypress. The family had a total of 9 children. Between 1903 and 1909, the family left Krakow to settle in Antwerp, Belgium. The Belgian city had been home to many Jewish communities for several decades, mainly active in the diamond trade. Jacob Birnbaum was no exception and became involved in the diamond trade very early on. From Antwerp, he helped in the family business and soon traveled all over Europe, particularly to Berlin, before turning to the United States of America. His father's company already had 2 offices in the United States, one in New York and another in San Francisco. On the 26th of June 1909, Jacob crossed the Atlantic Ocean for the first time and arrived in the United States. He was then 22 years old. 2.5 years later, in the spring of 1912, Jacob had to travel to the USA again, to San Francisco. He was due to leave Antwerp on the 6th of April aboard the SS Lapland of the Red Star Line, the Belgian-American shipping company. But his family wanted Jacob to stay in Belgium during the Easter holidays, until the 8th of April. Jacob therefore decided to postpone his departure by a few days and booked a first-class cabin on the Titanic, without informing the San Francisco offices of this last-minute change. For their side, Jacob's parents were proud of their son, a brilliant young businessman who was going to take part in the maiden voyage of the Titanic, then the largest ship in the world. To mark this event, Jacob's parents decided to offer him a golden pocket watch. Jacob joined the Titanic in Cherbourg. In Cherbourg, the Titanic was not supposed to enter the port. To embark, passengers had to take place on board a small tender ship, the Nomadic. This ship is the only one of the entire White Star Line fleet to have been preserved. It is now in dry dock in Belfast and can be visited. In Cherbourg, Jacob Birnbaum therefore went on the Nomadic in order to embark on the Titanic. On Wednesday the 10th of April 1912, at 8 p.m, boarding was complete and the Titanic set off for its final stop, the city of Queenstown, today Cove, in Ireland. From there, the ship set off across the Atlantic, where she hit an iceberg on the evening of the 14th of April. The morning after the 14th of April, the San Francisco officers were worried when Jacob did not arrive on board the SS Lapland. The American employees launched a search to discover with fear that Jacob had taken place on board the Titanic. From that moment on, a question occupied all minds on both sides of the Atlantic. Was Jacob among the survivors picked up by the Carpathia? A few days later, the news that Jacob was not among the survivors fell. That day, Jacob's father took a calendar, and on the date of the 15th of April, the date of his son's death, he wrote, "An diesem Tag ist mein unglücklicher Sohn bei der Titanic verunglückt." On this day, my unfortunate son perished in the accident on the Titanic. Note that the adjective unglücklicher, unfortunate, is difficult to read. It could be that this adjective is rather unvergleichlicher, incomparable, or even unvergesslicher, unforgettable. 12 days after the sinking, Jacob's body was recovered by the cable ship Mackenzie, which had left Halifax on the 17th of April to recover the bodies of the deceased passengers. Jacob was in a lifebuoy, wearing only blue pajamas and a light grey coat. His body was hoisted aboard the Mackenzie and given the number 148. He was identified by a golden ring with his initials and by a business card he was carrying. On the 30th of April, Jacob Birnbaum's body was returned to Halifax. From there, on the 3rd of May, it was transported by train to New York. On the 17th of May, the body was put on board of the Red Star Line's SS Vaterland. The ship arrived in Antwerp on the 21st of May, and Jacob was buried on the 23rd of May in Putte in the Netherlands, because Belgium does not allow perpetual burials. On top of his grave, a boat can be seen, and the text on his grave, written in Hebrew, states, among other things, that Jacob died in the sinking of the Titanic. In April 1913, after much administrative back and forth, Jacob's personal belongings were returned to his family. His golden pocket watch was repaired, and the text Titanic, April 1912, Jacob Birnbaum, was engraved on it. On board of the Titanic, Jacob also had money and diamonds, but these were never recovered. The Birnbaum family filed a lawsuit against the White Star Line in New York over this. The outcome of this complaint is unknown.
27 Belgians boarded the Titanic. 20 perished during the sinking. Although he was Austrian, and although he's been buried in the Netherlands, is Jacob Birnbaum considered as the only Belgian who died during the sinking and whose body was identified and repatriated. Friends, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope to see you soon for another video. Bye!